Hey guys, Mr. Wimp here. Today we're going to be using Multisim to do some of these analog and digital signals. So in your activity you have some examples here that you can calculate by hand, but then it gets to a certain point where it wants you to create this circuit here and open up some amp meters and things like that and tell me where this wave is. So it'll have you actually open an oscilloscope, excuse me, not an ammeter, but an oscilloscope, and you'll actually create a digital wave from this guy, plus you'll get the little blinking lights. And the way that we create that signal is by using this little clock here. This is a clock circuit. This is our oscilloscope that we'll get information from, so our circuit plugs in there. The clock sends a pulse out, and it'll pulse back and forth between these two, and they'll light up and they'll flash. We have a power supply and a ground here. So that's what we're going to build in Multisim. So in Multisim, I've gone to place components. I went to sources. I'm on signal voltage sources, and you can see here's my clock voltage here. All right, and that's going to be this guy, and we'll be able to adjust the frequency in a minute. So we're going to go ahead and place it, get that in there. And it looks like we also need two bulbs. So we're going to go to, excuse me, back to sources again, because we also need it looks like a 5-volt power supply. So we'll go to power sources, and we'll do, what do we want? I guess DC power. Looks like this goes over here. And we'll need 3 grounds. I like to use the digital ground. In the activity it has you use this ground. I like to use digital ground just because you get less errors. So we know that there's going to be a digital ground there. We know that there's going to be a digital ground here. And then we're going to have a third one for our middle bulb, so we'll just place it there. So we've got the, let's see, what do we have? We have the clock, we have our 3 grounds, we have our power supply, so we need 2 bulbs and an oscilloscope. So now the bulbs, I think we can find those in basic. And let's see, where are those? Well, it's got the bulbs. So let's see here. Okay, so the bulbs, and this kind of makes sense. They're under indicators, under the group. That's where you have your voltmeter, your ammeter, your probes, which we'll use later. So I'm going to choose the lamp here. And according to our deal here, it's a 5-volt 1-watt lamp. So we're going to use this bottom one here, and we'll click OK. And we're going to place 2 of those in our circuit, and that should do it for those. Now these aren't going the right way, so I'm going to rotate them 90 degrees clockwise. Then I can go ahead and wire them up. Now your circuit should be a little prettier than this, but this will work for what we need right now. We'll go to here, and then to there, and this guy should go to there. Then we need to get an oscilloscope, so we'll go back to place, and I believe, let's pause it. Okay, so the next thing it needs now, we actually can run this and see what happens here. And we're still at 1 kilohertz on our clock. See how it says 1 kilohertz? That's entirely too fast for us to be able to see it. So we're going to change our frequency here to 20. Now this is where you got to make sure you change this right here. It's at kilohertz, so now it's 20,000 times a second. We only want it to go 20 times per second. So we're going to change it to 20 hertz. Go ahead and click OK, and now our clock should reflect that. And if we play it, you should see the nice flashing lights. Okay? And that's what we're going for. Alright, so now how can we see our wave? In order to get the oscilloscope, which looks like this guy right here, we're actually going to bring that in from our toolbar over here from the instruments, and it's the 4th one down. It took me a little bit to look for it, so I had to go find it. And once I found it, it's the 4th one down. If you hover your mouse over there, it shows you the oscilloscope. So we're actually going to click an oscilloscope, and you can see there it is. Now it starts as a standard 2-channel oscilloscope, which may or may not be what we need. It looks like we want a 4-channel, so I'm going to go ahead and double-click on it. Channel A, channel B. Actually, that works just fine because we don't need a whole bunch of channels. Now, just like in our example here, we've got our little guy going, and if I go ahead and click play, we should start seeing, oh, it's not going to do anything because I have not wired it in. Okay, so we've got the two channels. We'll go ahead and use this one. But one problem we have here is that this is not connected to this. So if I click play, nothing's happening down here. There's no wave showing up because it's not wired in. So I need to wire that in. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll attach it to, looks like channel A. So let's see, we'll connect that guy to there. And now let's see if that works. So if I've got that running, and then I'll go ahead and click play. And you can see I actually have a signal going. It's popping up. There's my digital signal. So I can actually take that, and while that's running, if I pause it right there, now I can go back and make those changes. So earlier we talked about how these divisions here, there's my time base, so I have 10 milliseconds per division. I can up that or down that just by clicking on there and then just dropping it. You can see my scale gets bigger and bigger. And I like it to be, well, I guess that size works pretty well. And then this is channel A. So I'm going, one division is 5 volts. This is a 5-volt circuit. So we're seeing that. If I wanted to make it bigger, I could actually just drop it like that, and it's a little bit easier to see. And then I can go ahead and click play again, and you'll see my circuits pop in there. And if you, that should correspond to this thing flashing. So the light's on, and then when the light goes off, it drops off. Then when the light goes on, it drops on. Okay, and so there is our piece that you'll need to make. And so basically it's asking you to do that, and then it wants you to start the simulation, measure the high and low. So we've got our high here, we've got our low here. We can calculate out the period, we can calculate out the time high, time low. So we'll get a duty cycle, we'll get all that stuff calculated from here. Okay, so that's basically how you use Multisim to do the oscilloscope for this activity. And so far we're getting pretty good with Multisim. We just used it for the last activity. So as we need to, I'll try to throw some more examples on here. So anyway, that should do it. We'll see you next time.